Hello, Chloe. Thank you so much for being willing to talk with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, first of all, I'm going to say I apologize for my voice. I'm under the weather, but I'm happy to be talking with you. Just staying home and keeping everybody else healthy.
Yes, and that's what's most important.
So, Chloe, you've been working at Taproot as an intern this past year, and um, you recently appeared as an understudy on the Taproot stage for the Wickham's Christmas at Pemberley, and now you're about to make your main stage debut as a member of the regular cast for As It Is in Heaven. Can you tell me a little bit what this experience has been like for you?
Um, I will say that it's been, gosh, how to word this? Um, it's been interesting because from going from like an educational space and coming into a professional one, it's interesting just to see the different dynamics. Like with educational theater, they try to replicate a professional environment as much as they can, but it's still you're still there to like learn something, and there are still um, I don't want to say there are people above you, but like it's it's odd trying to balance the relationships, if that makes sense, because you'll have class, you'll have a professor, but then that professor is also your director. So there's like a weird tension there, um, that once you enter the professional space, it's not that's not the case.
Now, you graduated from SBU in June. Now, tell me what your degree was in.
My degree was in theater performance, and I minored in business administration.
Okay. What were some of your highlights in performing at SBU?
Oh, there are so many. Um, I would probably say my senior year as a whole,
Mhm.
just because of the type of roles that I got to do, and um, really getting to see the like last 3 years of my work coming to fruition, as well as um, actually being able to be on stage after COVID,
Yeah,
which
what a time that
was,
was.
yeah, yeah. um, Trying to learn the theater in a pandemic is not something that I would recommend.
Well, I have to say it's been a delight to have you in the office these past
Oh,
months. And I happened to be in the audience on the day when you first appeared as an understudy in the Wickhams. And if I remember correctly, that you didn't have a lot of notice for that.
no. So what happened was, um, so for understudies, the basically the show opens. Well, what's been best practice in the past, like pre-COVID times, is that the show opens, and then afterwards, the understudies get their like rehearsals on stage with all of the tech elements and lights and sound and all of the things and costumes. Um, but and that was what we were planning to do. That day, that evening was actually our first understudy like on set with lights and costumes rehearsal, and uh, I ended up going on before that, which in today's world should be what we expect. And I believe that as an industry, we are heading more towards adequately preparing our understudies before opening uh, for cases such as what happened.
Yeah, and we certainly couldn't have anticipated that that would have lined up just like that. But I have to say, you did a phenomenal job. And I happen to know, sitting up in the balcony, I happened to know the scenario that you were going on, but you hadn't had the understudy rehearsal yet, but you went on and you were Mrs. Darcy. And if I were to take away I work at Taproot Lens and I know what's going on, I would have thought, wow, Mrs. Darcy, she's so prepared and she's doing an excellent job embodying that character. So well done. And I have to say, I'm so excited to see you perform in As It Is in Heaven. Now I know that I'm talking to you a couple of weeks before first rehearsal, and you know the script, but we haven't started taking a deep dive into the play yet. But can you tell me, what is it that you're feeling and anticipating as we look forward to soon launching this play?
I'll start off with this. My favorite part of any process is costumes. Costumes really help add on that extra layer of like characterization. You can learn so much about a person just by the way that they dress. But probably what I'm most looking forward to about this process in particular is getting to work with the team and getting to know them better. There are a few people in the cast and a few people on the design team / production side that I know, one of which is our set designer, Jordan Giroux. I'm not sure what exactly her title was, but she was sort of, I don't know what the right word is. She was, I guess, one of my supervisors while I was working at SPU. They have this, what is it called? I guess I would call it like a class. It's called Production Practicum. And basically, your first year, you take that as a student and you like learn different aspects of production. And then once you finish that full year, you can become an employee. And that's what I did. I was the paint charge there for, I was the paint charge assistant for 1 year and the paint charge the following year. And I really learned a lot about painting sets and how to properly make the set designers ideas come to life from her. So I'm really excited to see what she does with the show. Her designs were incredible. There's also Pam Nolte, who I've had the pleasure of recently getting to know, and I'm excited to deepen that connection and just learn from her. She is incredibly talented. Just watching her talk, like even like not even acting, just like speaking, it's like you're incredible. And then there's also Mariana DeFazio, who she was my theater voice professor. So I learned a lot about dialects and vocal exercises from her. And I'm really excited to see what she does vocally with this show, especially since a lot of the characters come from different areas of the US. There's a lot of range in terms of dialect that can be utilized. Yeah, and just working with the director, Marianne Sable. I had the pleasure of being partially involved in another one of Arlene Hutton's works. It was a new one. It's called, I don't know what it's called now, but when we were working on it, it was called The Shakers of Mount Lebanon will hold a peace conference this month. I'm pretty sure that title has changed.
Okay.
But what happened was my character ended up being written out of the show. So I ended up doing more of a like observership type of thing. And that was a Zoom production. So it'll be exciting to get to work with Marianne in person.
Yeah, definitely. She is so talented, and she's done a
Yeah.
number of shows at Taproot over the years.
Yeah, seeing what she did with Black Coffee, I'm just like,
That was beautiful. I loved all the sets and the costumes and all of the staging. So well done. Well, Chloe, can you tell me what's next for you? I know that immediately what's next is As It Is in Heaven, but you're also an intern at Taproot, finishing out your
Yes.
year here. And then what comes next professionally on stage? What are your dreams?
So after actually once As It Is in Heaven opens, I am assistant directing and choreographing for SPU's production of Everybody, which is in the spring. It's one of their spring shows. And I'm just really excited to be back there after back there so soon. um yeah, after that, I'm hoping that I can, what I would really love is to work at Taproot full time.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals. I really do have a passion for theater, and being able to make my living in theater, um, that would just that would be it for me. Um, yeah, and I know that's not something that you can do by just doing one thing.
Can you tell me a
So,
little bit more about that?
yeah, with theater you have to be in multiple different aspects, like the admin side or like production work, as well as the more creative things like directing, choreographing, acting. Um, yeah, so I would love to like do production work during the day and in the evenings be able to like work on my craft.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing career. Well,
Yeah.
Chloe, is there anything else you want to share with our patrons?
Um, I'm just really, I'll say I'm really grateful because I, looking back on Wickham's, I felt sort of out of place anytime I would go on stage just because I was the understudy, you know, that's I feel like that's the person that I don't know. I feel like you as an audience member, some people might be like slightly disappointed that the main person isn't going on, you know? Um, but I will say that there was so much warmth that I felt from the audience anytime that I ended up going on. Um, along with some of those days that I ended up going on were talkback days. And I did get some interesting questions. And it seemed like they were like actually interested in the process and like what understudying was like. And I just really appreciated being so welcomed.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Chloe, thank you for talking with me today. And I'm so excited to see As It Is in Heaven come to the stage and for you to be able to make your, I don't know what we call it, your Taproot main stage debut. You've already been an understudy, so you've been on stage. You are a full member of the cast, and you're gonna do a great job. And I'm so excited to be able to share it with everybody.
Thank you. I'm excited too. I think maybe like a regional debut,
Regional
professional
debut,
debut.
professional
I don't
debut.
know.
I love it.
I do know that this is the regional premiere,
That's right.
which I
Yeah.
was like, I feel
So you get to
honored.
make your regional professional debut with the regional premiere of As Is in Heaven.